Right, so it's the 17th of March 2025. I've had to put up with a fucking burn-in again. And obviously the loud bike issue. The loud bike issue has really pissed me off. Because it's time going to the toilet, timed every impulse, every whatever. And I get very fed up with it. Also, they've been circling me with blue skies and sunshine. So it was a bad choice to think what to do initially, because there's two things I need to do today, and that's pick up medication, and the other thing I wanted to do is go to where I'm going now on the train to retake a picture that I couldn't take on previous occasions because they keep on circling me with blue skies and sunshine and opening the sky up into blue skies and sunshine when I get there. But there's enough cloud today for there to be cloud cover when I reach our destination. But firstly, there's 500 plus cars on the road, more bikes to erections or whatever, and started vehicles. These are vehicles that have a engine and run by petroleum liquid, so, and obviously I'm being towed out by a catalytic converter, so it's like the smell of vinegar mixed with the smell of rubbing two stainless steel knives against garden cracks, except 50 to 100 times stronger on engine cars. Modern cars are electric, so you don't get that, but they're still using the older cars, and I get a bit pissed off of it because they're timing it deliberately and the wind direction is up me when it's occurring. Right, I just had to show my tickets, so I had to stop the recording. There's been 7 people that have photographed me, and there's been the rough type people with beards, and obviously there's been a few other setups like a Abri van, timing a motorbike timed over a bridge timed to erection timed as I move my head, this and that, and there's been one threat as well, which is to say, where is it? It's on the paper somewhere. Smash them in, haha. Haha, it's like ha. It's like a giggle, ha ha ha. I can't do it properly. I've reached a destination of where I'm getting off, and it looks like the bastards have opened the blue skies up in sunshine, but like I said, there's a lot of cloud about, so it's possible that I'll be able to get the picture today. I've also got to see if there's a library at this place. I'm not actually 100% sure if there is, but what's happened is I tried to renew my passport yesterday and because the intense burning from whatever's causing it at my place keeps on distracting me and keeps on causing me to lose concentration to do what I'm doing. I like thinking hard as I can to, you know, put the right information in and all the rest of it, and I messed it up, so I've got to redo it again today, and I've got to try and get a refund on the mistake that I made yesterday. So I've got to do all that, but I need to do it at the library because I can't do it at my place because the burning problem, and that burning problem only occurs at my place. A crow saying shot down and fuck Bab, B-A-B. Right, so traffic flow's pretty heavy for the road that I'm on, and I can't do the picture at the moment because they have angled a line of blue sky going in the direction of where I want to take that picture. I've been trying to take that picture for about, it was over 12 months now actually, so 12, about 16 months, and I've still not been able to get it because it turns out to be either blue skies and sunshine, or they're opening the sun up to be hazy sunshine but of a brighter type of hazy sunshine, or just blue skies if the sun is in, and I want grey cloud, or at least the darker end of white cloud over me when I'm taking that specific picture. If it does turn out to be blue skies and sunshine, the BBC and the Met Office have lied once again about the forecast for what the weather is in this area. Right, so the wind direction's my way, and obviously they're pissing me out with a catalytic converter because obviously, like I said earlier, they need to tell me it's addressed to Granny and a red-white car, so it's like they're boastful, it's red-white, that's right, they've got to be like that. Right, so I've just done some recordings on the camera because the sexy weather, the sex in the sun, is defeating me getting the pictures. They've opened this blue shit, I can't do it. The bastards won't let me. I'm going to have to do what I'm going to do fucking later. I'm going to have to do it later. The bastards won't stop it. It's got to be sun, it's got to be sex. And we've had a Tesco van, I filmed that by the way. So where's this law and curse, this sex then? You violating, cruelty bastard, Christ. You know what's going to happen now? I'm going to go up here, and the wind direction, they're going to catalytic converter control me. So at least a bike look like. But obviously this is what the creator wants. The creator's fucking twisted, fucking bent, buckled. Right, so there's been spit talk in my hair and it's hit my lips. Started car with the wind direction again. Same position as what it was when I went to the shop. Because they need to do this, because they need to tell me a catalytic converter is supposed to be with a catalytic converter, a granny. But that's their way of thinking. When this initially was set up, the catalytic Tesco vehicle. Right, so if we buckle up, everything's going to buckle in a minute. Hang on. Just get across the road like that first. Right, so it has clouded over, and I did go to the try and take a picture again of what I wanted to take a picture of. I was there for about 7 minutes, but the problem is all the traffic flow just suddenly increased to a point where I could not take it, and by the time that all that traffic flow finished, it started to become blue skies and sunshine again, and when it was blue skies and sunshine, the road went dead quiet. Right, so I've made it down to the church area now, and I want to go in this church because there's pictures that I want to take that I forgot to take last time because I was busy documenting some issues, and also I forgot the time before that. So there's the books I wanted to photograph is Sex with Amelia. So I can't remember the actual titles of the books, but that one was a definite. There was Sex with Amelia, I remember that one. The other books were like, I can't remember the actual wording on the books, but like God's gift of love, to basically imply that you're getting a partner. That partner's going to... Hang on a second. Hold on. Let me just... Alright. I've got it in a minute. I need to stop the recording in a minute. Right, it looks like they've started locking the church up, meaning I can't get in the church now. I'm not very happy about this because I wanted to get the photographic evidence of the books that are on the bookshelf that they're selling. Especially the one where it says Sex with Amelia, and obviously there's some other books. I can't remember the exact title, but I can give you the names of a similar suggestion of what the books were when I went in there last time. And that's The Gift of Sex from God, A Perfect Sexual Relationship That Never Fails, The Perfect One God's Chosen for You is like a sexual book. I think that was actually the title on that one. Fuck's sake. Well, there were several books in there, and I thought that I need to get the evidence, and I forgot to do it because I was too busy, documenting it in this digital audio recording device last time I came down, and I was supposed to photograph the evidence or film the evidence of these books that are being sold in the church, and now I can't get in there. So I'm a bit pissed off about that because that would have been concrete evidence, and it would have just confirmed that Jesus Christ has turned against me, or that Jesus Christ has fucking fallen, or the church is against me and violating me sexually. And also, yeah, so that's that. I can't think what I wanted to say. It's gone out of my head. But unless this is open, of course, let's try the back one. No, they've locked it. Right, so I've just been checking the photos, and the pictures I've taken are in focus, but they've come out of colour. So I've got a problem now, because the sun's out and there's blue skies. It's turning into blue skies everywhere. At the same time, there's a bit of rain as well. So you've got the rain. Last year there was over 70 incidents of causing rain to be out at the same time as being sunny, but they positioned the sky, or controlled the sky in a way so that when it was raining, the full time it was raining, it was sunny without any cloud cover at all. So that happened about 70 times. There's actually footage on YouTube at this minute in time of this slight curse of needing to cause it to be sexual weather everywhere I go. So, fuck yeah, drain covers, fuck yeah, your life sounds right. Shut your fucking face. Get out in the sun. It's sexual. You're a fucking rapist. Nothing you can do about it. The government don't want these fucking pictures on cloudy fucking days, and are deliberately causing the fucking blue skies and sexual weather to be out every fucking time I try to fucking take a picture. Now there's miracles to stop me getting the pictures, and now we got a catalyst, Christ. There's a catalyst. You fucking crooked cunt, Christ. You fucking buckled fucking craughty cunt. Would have cut the bastards stopping me getting the pictures. I can't do nothing because it's sex in the sun weather. It's very sexy, Christ. Sex in the sun. Yes, I've had sex. I've had sex with people that raped me as a child. Sex, Christ. Right. Now, can I get a fucking picture, you crop bastard? Right, it's starting to dig with this Wayne business again. So you had Lorraine Langford, Connie Langford, Cassie Langford, Wayne Langford, up until about 1995, because that side of the family split from our side of the family. I knew Connie and Wayne in particular because they were similar ages to me when I was a child. I knew them in my childhood. And there are specific things. There's a documentary that I've done. Not a documentary, sorry. Some typed information, sorry. Which is in Deep Depression, My Life Story Pack #1. But the page goes on and on because it's got all the threats of the Palace nightclub, the earliest setups, you name it, you name it. There's just too much for me to go through. I'll never find what I'm looking for. But right, so that robbery looking vehicle, hang on. But yeah, I was pushed into the thing because they're trying to throw me off what I'm trying to say by putting a lorry from behind down a very narrow, tight section of road, country road or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so this Wayne business goes back to the early Deep Depression pages to explain that sex is not good enough. And also, I think it does anyway, I think it explains, well, it does with that. What I mean is, when I was small, about 5 to 8 years of age, I went swimming and I had a piggyback on, well, kind of on a girl who's roughly about the same age as me at the time, and I've been trying to twist that, saying, oh, that touching skin like that is sex and it's good enough, and it's good enough to rip you to fucking pieces. So I'm getting a bit pissed off at that. I don't know if I ever stated that, but God's sake, Zimmer frame only. That's what I mean. The creator God's just absolutely. Morning. Yeah, so I was going to go into church for an hour and 20 minutes, but I got to rearrange and do something a bit different because, as I said, they've locked the church up now, and there's a sign saying that this church is locked at all times now. You know, apart from special occasions like services or coffee mornings. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was saying properly, but they were suggesting this Wayne business, especially in the year 2006. It sort of died out in 2007. I don't know what information was given to the enemies at that time, but back in those days, It wasn't one-sided like it was today, and as well before I was being mistaken as Liam or Savan. And even these people were saying they want to stop pissing about with this, taking the piss out of him with this Wayne business. Have they ever thought that, you know? And also Wayne was pretty negative attraction. I'll mention that as well. So it's sort of, he was a decent person, obviously, because I got on with that side of the family up until 95. But that side of the family split up. But I can't give the information of why they went away from our side of the family. But it's nothing to do with me. They did try and make up going back 15 years ago, something like that, with our side of the family. But the father to Wayne, who's my uncle, there was some issues and it never took place. And you know, that's that. But even though, it's like I said, before the lockdown, these setups were getting nicer. The 1 year before the lockdown, or months and months before the lockdown, and it's the very first camping that I did at the Woodland, and it's like the first time I camped in 25 years or whatever. And it's definitely a different atmosphere. You had to Savem for it, but it wasn't extreme. You also had what else? Yeah, so you had you had nicer people walking in my direction, and the setups dropped. The loud bike issue, however, that's never dropped. That's always been persistent. But the setups did drop before the lockdown. So this is why I'm beginning to wonder whether they went into lockdown, so that because basically what the setup was supplying at that time, obviously it was, because back in the days when it was suggesting Sadie, they were getting nasty with the setup, so I had sex with Sadie when I haven't. But it sort of died down. So come 2013, the setups are sort of saying that we know you haven't had sex with Sadie. It's like the knowledge is there, and that's when that side of the family didn't speak with me, or certain members on my side of the family. As it stands today, they're on Facebook and they're okay with me. And obviously I've had discussions and, you know, spoken and whatever about the issues and the people that are saying this and that and involving that Sadie or whatever, and they just said don't worry about it, just ignore them, they're just trying to get you in trouble and all this, that sort of stuff. So that's what they've been saying. So, but anyway, going back to the setups, it's sort of that sort of 2013, that sort of died out completely when it came to the Sadie. The Stephanie, again, is another one, someone I've never been with. So Stephanie Hill or Jill, whatever her surname is. And again, the setups are applying that, you know, keep on applying that, but they weren't, it's next to nothing. It's sort of, but then again, when I was at Burnham-on-Sea, there was not really much they could set up, because all you had there was a beach in the town. I sort of never really went on the bus that often, and I did actually enjoy living there. I felt much healthier, much more refreshed, but because of the eye problem, you see, and all the rest of it, I was forced out of my home, and I had to camp. And then obviously, again, it's energy weapons, and then obviously when that occurred, that's why I had to you know, move to supported housing at Yeovil. And I was only supposed to be there for 2 years, where initially it was supposed to be 12 months. But there's not much you can do about it, you know. And that's that. And obviously my life got worse and worse and worse. And the amount of threats I had in straight after the holiday with my mum into the Isle of Wight in 2021, or whenever it was, right up to when I was camping at Portland near Weymouth 2022, that was when things started to break down a little bit, and it wasn't too bad. But quite literally, between that time period, I was almost knifed quite a few times, almost smashed to pieces, shouted at aggressively. They've taken chase on me, and it's been very aggressive, time and time and again, and I had up to 150 threats on some days, and had almost nearly 40 threats every single day. That's literally as good as every single day between October 2021 to September 2022 area, or around that sort of time period. I can't remember. But it's that sort of period. Same for people photographing me, it'd be roughly around the same. But people sneezing in my face could be up to 300 times. On an average, it would be at least 40 times per day. In the summer, or in a specific time period, it is at least 120 times per day. I don't know how that was occurring. However, the holiday I just had, they managed to time 2,000 people plus to sneeze at me, or nearly at me, and on the holiday I just had from staying at my mum's. So I don't know how that's happening, but it is. Right, so going back to the initial setup, it died down completely. I remember going on the bus. There were setups, obviously, but they were more sort of, they couldn't be stopped sort of setups. It was sort of like the aggression was not as intense. They were making the suggestion you paid the price for sexual sins, but the problem is I haven't committed those sexual sins. So yes, it's a rewarding suggestion, because obviously it's implying that you paid the price and they've laid down the setup. Meaning that there's no setup, but the problem is they're saying that I paid the price with these setups and applying that you're in your 30s now, mid-30s or whatever, and that you're going to have to go with an older person, and that's what we've done. We fucked it up for you getting a sexy 18-year-old to have to go with someone in their 30s because of these sexual crimes that I committed, which I didn't commit, because they twisted it. So that's what they're basically saying. They're saying, so they eased the setup dropped. And I thought to myself, I'm not very happy about it, because I'm being lied to with sexual things that I haven't done, and saying I've paid the price for those sexual things. And also made the suggestion that I paid the price for writing bomb Hinkley Point power station after something very bad happened to me, and a break-in I had going back to 2006. I've already been in trouble with the police with that in the past or whatever, and I've not written it since, obviously. However, if my life was to go fucking hellbent or corrupt as fuck or get nastier and nastier and nastier, I'm surprised I haven't written it already, because it's got a lot nastier in the last short period of time. You know, I managed to control myself, and the police said, all the things, they've arrested me before, you know, they charged me for that, what I just told you. But, you know, that's that. But the setups have made the suggestion that you paid the price for that. This is before the lockdown, this is what I'm saying. But the problem is, when they made the suggestion, for the next 3 months after the suggestion was applied, I did actually start walking into young ladies as young as about 18, or younger than that, or that look younger than that, probably about 18, or legal age, or whatever the legal age is. And they were actually smiling at me as they were passing me, or some females, as young as their teens, were actually nudging my arm and smiling as they were passing and stuff like that. But what happened? We had the coronavirus outbreak, we went into lockdown, and all this came to a sudden stop. And then what happened, in the lockdown period, there's some mild setups, but they weren't anything to be suggested to apply that anything too malicious is happening. When we go into a second lockdown, I noticed it becomes more tight and more rigged up, and more malicious and more nasty, and 4 times nastier and 4 times more malicious than it's ever been before. And these setups are malicious and nasty every single day, and as evil as anything, and is much more nasty in the way it's being displayed as suggestions, like overhanging trailers timed to rip the legs off from behind, vertical wording or t-shirts saying smash you out, just come to fucking pieces on the side of a t-shirt, having a smashing time, knife attacks on, bash your brains out, Street Fighter Turbo, hospital bed, you know, making the suggestion. I mean, this is really violent suggestions. It's not, these people are getting nastier and nastier. So it's been re-rigged up and reset up since the lockdown, and this force against me is much more nasty than it's ever been before. And obviously when I moved from Burnham-on-Sea, my whole life just went downhill anyway. And the support workers, social workers, or mental health team or whatever are even putting the loud bite issue, trying to erection, down to schizophrenia now. So my doctor had some respect for me, saying that that specific thing isn't schizophrenia before I moved. So I've been caught going to the toilet once again. That's over 100 times just this year. I'm not sure how many times it's occurred this year. It's well over 100, I know that. This never used to occur hardly ever. But obviously these setups, all this control force around me, since the lockdown, has been a lot more heavier, so, and a lot more malicious, and a lot more nasty. But obviously there are some places where they don't have toilets, and there are some places where they deliberately cause the queue to be half an hour long, or the toilets are closed, or something like that, where you've got no option, where you're desperate to go. So they're doing that on purpose. It's like when you go and take rubbish to a bin, you have to sometimes litter because they're deliberately putting organised force in your direction, causing people to sneeze in your face, causing enemies to be in your direction to stop you putting rubbish in the bin. And sometimes you have to litter because of it. You don't mean to do it, but they're doing everything they can to make you as useless as anything, to cause as much fucking trouble as they can put in your path, to stop you doing anything, to you know, just to cause as much fucking mayhem and havoc as they can fucking cause. It's like they want to get rid of you, they want your head off. They're making that fucking clear this year and 2024. You gotta go. We want your head off. We want you ripped to pieces. We're tearing you to pieces in your next life. We're sexually abusing you as a child in your next life and taking your life to fucking pieces. We're gonna fucking destroy you. That's our answer. And these setups are getting nasty about it. And they're saying if you don't go, basically apply, if you don't go to the fire of hell, then we're ripping you to pieces. Saying, and then they're also applying that we sliced your wrist with the creator God and whatever. So they're applying, we sliced your wrist with God, and if God doesn't put you in hell, we'll rip you to fucking pieces, and we'll do it in every life. You're serving time, you're living up to your name, just in time. Capital punishment, serve time, rip you to fucking pieces, destroy you. And they're cheering about it, or getting nasty about it. So yeah, all this setup. I mean, they're making the suggestion that they're going to play about with me after raping me as a child in my next life. You know, playing about with me on a fireplace after that, and play about with me poker sticks while cheering, with the suggestion of wording on vertical to apply this, to apply that they're burning me in a fireplace and burning me, and that they're laughing, and that they're sacrificing me as a baby in my next life or child, and that they're cheering about it and showing appreciation. And obviously the other setup that's occurring this year is money, that they're cheering about money. They want to apply, we got money, we're cheering, yeah, and being pathetic about it. I mean, these setups have always been nasty, but there was been remorse on some of these setups if we go back before the lockdown. Obviously I was walking into this Gemma Ferguson on a regular basis, and these setups were applying that I'm a sicko because I won't have sex with Gemma Ferguson, and saying you should be fancying Gemma Ferguson, and applying how stupid are you, and applying she's a similar age, only same age differences between my real parents when they were together. So, but the problem is, when they set this up, they didn't realise that Gemma Ferguson's one of those people that don't allow more than 2 years difference in age, or you're known as a sicko. But as far as the government or the people that are setting this force up against me, they're applying that, you know, it's not a problem, that's normal. So then they were actually surprised, they're sort of saying, sort of some of the days of these setups are applying, come on, you can fancy Gemma, come on. And, you know, and obviously I could, yes, but they think that I can't. Because I'm not with Gemma, these setups think that I can't fancy her. Well, back at the time, obviously she's going into negative attraction now, to a point where I'm not going to be able to fancy her anyway, but these setups are applying that I'm a sicko because I can't fancy Gemma Ferguson. It was not like that at all. Gemma Ferguson doesn't like me, and she's got a problem with my age, and she made that clear on a phone call, when I asked if she fancied meeting up for a coffee, because I left a note in the shop. Because what happened is, I moved to Thorn House in Yeovil, and my life turned hell the first few weeks I moved there. So I decided I need to contact Gemma, because I've spoken to her on the beach, and it's the only possible person that I know that could possibly be single, that's not a single parent. But I can't guarantee this. So I left that message. I can't remember what it said. I said, hi Gemma, it's Justin. I've spoken a few times on the beach, and I was wondering whether you fancy coming to meet up, have a coffee or something, just have a chat, saying that I moved to Yeovil now, and said I think it's okay to ask in a message, saying, and I said I was sort of single. I didn't say anything else. I didn't say she's single or anything like that, because it's not the right thing to do, but said if you fancy having a chat or whatever, it'd be nice to get to know you more, since we've had a conversation on the beach while I spoke and whatever. But unfortunately, she phoned up saying, I don't even fucking know you. Why the fuck do you fucking leave a message in my fucking workplace? It was in a letter, so it's personal, private, and she kicked off about it, said, you're fucking sick. You're asking a 30, I can't remember what she said now, 30, it could have been 30 or 31, one of those. I'm asking a 30-year-old woman if she's fucking single. You sad fucking bastard, you sick cunt. How a fucking you prey on a fucking 30-year-old or 31-year-old, and she said, you're fucking sick. And said, the people I have against me, the people I have on my side, you just landed your whole fucking life in peril. You're going to lose your fucking life. You're having your life taken. You're fucking sick as fuck. And she said, you're fucking gone. And then she said she was going to report me. Said, I'm keeping that fucking letter, I'm going to report you. Said, no, I'm not going to report you. You just watch your back, you're not going to be here. You're going to be fucking smashed to pieces. And only a couple of months after that was the time period of where this person pretended to be Scott, who wanted to meet up, pretending to be a single woman, because he wanted to smash me up and knife me and throw me on the railway track at Highbridge railway station. And he met up in Bridgewater and said I was a sicko. And he asked if I'm Justin, and I had to sort of I had to scream and run, because this person was too hard for me to deal with, because he's a hard type person, and he's also a rough type person. And he thought I was Savenne and said I was Savenne while filming me after he was in the after the attack or around the attack or whatever with his smartphone. And then obviously that was the end of that. But it could also be because of other people as well, because I've been trying to contact people and these people have gone against me. So it could be Amanda Millis, it could be the only one that's not going to be is Sadie. It could be Kim, but I haven't really contacted Kim because Kim doesn't like me. And again, I'm being told that I tried raping Kim as well, which is not true. Kimberly Hobbs, or Kimberly Cox as she's known as these days. And also, you had Sally as well that I tried messaging. No, actually I didn't. No, I don't think I went on that one, no, because I found out she's a single mother. Later on, I think that's more 2013 or whatever. But because she don't remember me, or even if there's a possibility that the mother has possibly linked to know that I'm connected to her dad, or there's some possibility. But even if that was the case, she doesn't like me anyway, so obviously I don't cause trouble, so I just left it, and let her get on with life. And I have seen her once on the bus just before I moved, or just after I moved to Yeovil, and there was no problem. I was looked at normally, a bit of a dark look initially because she was a child, and I sort of looked away and sort of realised that, and that was the end of that basically. But there was no problems. It also could be linked to that Michael Jackson prostitute who called herself Jeanette, who looks similar to my dad, mixed with Lisa Pike. Actually, she's very negative looking, actually, to be fair. I think that's why they did it as a setup back in 2018. Just as the Savenne threat was coming in and as the burning was occurring. Not the burning, the eye problem. So, and I was also feeling a bit suicidal. So it was April or March of that year and she pretended to be single when she wasn't, and she said she contacted me, she found me on Viva Street, because obviously I not had anyone. She said she was 18, but she looked a bit more older than that. She looked around about the age of 22ish, but a negative attraction type of 22, so she has rougher skin. And obviously she only did a few moves on me, about 6 moves while filming it. She didn't need to film it, and that was it, and it cost me £800 or something like that, just a little bit under £800. And then I realised it was a scam. The neighbours found out at my old place. There was a conversation in the corridor and saying that it was caused by Dan, and they mentioned the name Oliver. There's a possibility that the name Scott was mentioned, but I can't remember, and that was definitely the name given by that person who tried to attack me. But either way, Oliver and Dan were definitely mentioned, and they think they know that they said in the corridor. I won't say who said it because I don't want to get them in trouble. And the gunshot sounds actually stopped after that, and that specific neighbour that said that, or the couple that were in the corridor, I never had any trouble for the next couple of years before I moved there, from there to Yeovil, from that specific personal people in that specific flat. But unfortunately around that time was when the new neighbours moved in, and they think that could be the cause of what they needed to do, because they needed to get money, and they saw me as a target, and saying they know he's got mental health problems, autism, and so they're using him and saying he's really stupid. Obviously they said I'm stupid, but you know, when you spend at the time just over £8,000, no, hang on, that's wrong, about 15,000, sorry, hang on, I'm not sure actually, I need to look on the thing, I think I'm confused on that. I know it cost thousands and thousands and thousands, but I'm not sure what the number is, I've forgotten. Anyway, that scam, they found out that you know, they were using me and trying to get me in trouble and cause trouble and all the rest of it. And there was never any other trouble from that neighbour. And what I will say, before the that lady, prostitute or whatever you want to call it, single lady, tried to, you know, where she scammed me, that neighbour wasn't happy on a regular basis. There was quite a lot of gun sounds, blanks fired, and there's one passing my door, possibly, not here, don't know, and there's sometimes a remark. All that stopped from that specific neighbour. I found that very interesting. And then obviously you had the 2 other neighbours, and then obviously I probably started after that. But when I did this event threat came in that sort of time, this event threat was occurring not much before, but it was occurring before the it was 2017, it was December 2017, and then obviously you had the prostitute in March 2018 or April 2018, and then obviously the burning problem started just before that as well. So you had that neighbour that was causing the eye problem. If I said burning, I can't remember now. But the eye problem was occurring just a bit before this lady that scammed me, basically. And obviously this event threat came in late 2017. But yeah, the setups though back in that time were admitting you poor soul, you know, so there was some sympathy with those setups. It's like the setups weren't just 100% menacing, malice, or outright nasty. There was some, you know, some remorse at times. There always has been. Obviously some days it's been really nasty, no remorse, it's extreme nasty, aggressive, but there's also been times where it hasn't been like that. But ever since the lockdown, these setups are nastier and nastier than ever before. They kind of look like the people that rate near the child times are erected on a regular basis. instead of loud bike. Open a sandwich from the top around the corner, overhanging trailer on the corner, back my legs up from behind. Timing were a loud bike counter direction, a loud bike direction to the driver. Actually what's around that corner, direction like that, and then a little bit further, then realising what's around the corner, and then tires. But there would also be a loud bike over that same direction. And then obviously that makes suggestions that you're a bit faster because you've got an electric nowhere tire. But you haven't got an electric nowhere tire. You've got the electric before about 30 seconds before you see that tire. You even heard that tire. And they're trying to fix it and saying that you're getting a boner over the tires. It's nasty about it. It's really quite nasty people in my direction or whatever. And even at the bus stop in Hollywood, since the lockdown, they tried to electrify myself. There was a girl. I thought it was a man, identical to me, obviously she's about 10 years older than me, and identical to me, but slightly more harder build than me. There were different actions that I had, and he was taking the girl, and saying I wasn't going to do this, but he took the girl, and then what happened then? I was at the bus stop at the time, and like, it was just me and back, that was sadly that person that girl, and then what happened? More people came to the bus stop than should, so I'm stood at the bus stop doing nothing wrong on that occasion, and the smoke had a go at me, saying you chasing fucking girl. You fucking, what are you fucking doing? I tell you, I fucking like it. I fucking slapped you too. And then an argument started, and then obviously the cop, and then fucking like a joke, so I got on the bus, and I basically said, I'll have to get a on you. And very kept me very close to coming to the last out to watch the sun. And there's been many occasions of luck like that, you know, like that. I mean, we've got the incidents at Nine Springs. If we go back to 2022, we've got that as well. And that's not recording because there's someone coming. And what I'm about to say is not good information. Right, so where I was mistaken as Savannah on the first day, this was in June, take into account there'd already been problems at home. Aggressive shouting and violence, illegal gunshot firing, you know, blanks fired, not so that it's not loaded but it's blanks fired, and it makes the rustic type of smell like burnt oil. All that's put down to schizophrenia, you know. Everything I've reported since I've been there. I've had many things go missing from my place, and especially in the early days up until the new staff worked there, which is the staff like Kate, Lydia and Zach. Before they worked there, it was a bit more different, and obviously before Helen and Clive became manager there were a lot of it was a different atmosphere, but they didn't know me back at the time, and obviously they had different opinions. Everybody did, and basically it was different. And then obviously, you know, but anyway, let's get to this Nine Springs story. Crowd of youths, sexual girls by the way, blonde, smooth skin. One of them got a carving knife out, but well, it was a carving knife, it was a big knife, threatening to smash me in with a knife, and they started setting them to chase, and basically they were thinking I was Savannah. And then on the following day, not so aggressive, I can't remember if there was a weapon on that day, I think it was just a mouth on that day, and the chase took place exactly the same place near enough, and I was being mistaken as Liam. So where this and all the other problems escalated, what I bought is I bought a load of USB sticks. Sorry, that's wrong. I used a load of USB sticks. I put documentation on them, my life story pack, right? Yeah. And I posted it international signal to the Russian government, the Australian government, and the Chinese government, and Washington White House in the United States. I have USB sticks and my life story packs that contains stories from basically when it went on to computer format, so about 2006. However, there's a lot of information lost, and there are times I'm accused of this and that when it comes to sexuality, of stuff that's not true. And I've lost chunks of 6 months where, you know, hard drives are broke, or I've lost that information. And in that 6 month time period where they do this, they've stepped up that action as well, which is really, really annoying me. And I mean, it's been really bitter in the way, it's slightest way it's been done. Or to tell me to enjoy sex with people that raped me as a child, taking the piss out of me in that way. But you've got to take into account, back then, that was a newish setup. But the fact that I lost the information of all that really, really pissed me off back at that time. So, and that goes back to when I was living at Burnham-on-Sea, before the lockdowns. So you did have this nasty, spiteful twist of setups back then as well. I mean, these setups have never been nice, but nowadays, since the lockdown, these setups are a lot more malicious, a lot more. 4 times more nastier, 4 times much more heavier as well. I mean, you had the sneezing in the face frequent before the lockdown, but come 6 months before we went into the lockdown, because that specific year, just before we went into the lockdown, as I was saying earlier, all this trouble dropped, all these setups dropped, and it included the sneezing, that dropped as well. The only thing that didn't really drop is the loud bite time to a stretch, and the animal voice sounds were pretty much very, very bad in the time period that all these setups were calming down. So the setups were calming down, but the animal voice sounds, or what's causing animal voice sounds, was increasing big time. So that's the story of that. So I'll have to leave it there on that section. Right, and I'm just going to give you some idea of how I feel this morning with the burning, because obviously that burning problem's been, you know, it's bad overnight again, as I mentioned earlier. I'd say this minute in time, I feel it's like an itchy, irritating rejection feel that's coming through your body at the moment, and itchy across the face, and you know, an irritating sort of kind of feeling. So the burning would be about the equivalent of, as I mentioned on yesterday's recording, I said that 2 months ago the burning was not as intense as what it is at the moment. So I'd say at the moment I feel, at this minute in time that is, I'm not that bad at this minute in time, it's not great, but I'm not, you know, really bad. So I'd say it's about, if I was in my room and the burning was occurring for about 5 minutes, really bad, 2 months ago, it'd be about the equivalent to that, when I'm just about ready to go out and get some fresh air. So it takes hold a bit more firmer now, because obviously it's happening worse than what it was before. Last night was quite bad. I put it all over the internet last night because I was very annoyed, but there's not much you can do about it. Anyway, the time's come where I've got to get the train because I don't want to miss it. So it's not been too bad, the setups today, not at this place, but the problem is I'm going to face all this problem later because I've got to pick up my medication. So when I go back to Yeovil, and by the way, you've got to be careful on these trains because there's some request stops, and you're not 100% sure whether you can get picked up on these specific stops or anything like that. So, you know, yeah, so as a rule I prefer to go with the ones that where there's a guaranteed, you know, proper stop. But anyway, that's not too much of a problem. There is something I have forgot to mention, and that's the graffiti that's this stone just fell. It just fell from the bug. The stone did. I thought it was a stone, but it hit my leg, landed on my bag, and fell to my foot. There's another one. Yeah, so it looks like they've taken that graffiti away, or they've cleaned up. They've also made it look a bit more cleaner, but they haven't really sort of done that much of a job. When I last came here, and the time before, again I forgot to photograph it, which is not this bridge, it's the bridge that I just went under. I will stay under this bridge just to document this, because I need a couple of minutes. Basically, there's some graffiti. I don't know how old it is, but if I was to guess, it's got to be at least 20 years old, that graffiti. And the reason I say it's so old is because you don't get 16-year-olds asking if men in their 30s and 40s want to fuck, and showing love hearts and applying love and all that. I can't remember what the graffiti said now, but basically we're 15 and 16-year-old fucking girls or whatever, because back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you know, a 16-year-old was an adult. It still is in other countries. I mean, in Brazil or whatever it is, it's 13, but obviously in the UK it's 18, but these people try and push it up to 25, and they have you down as a sicko if you don't go with anyone basically the same age near enough, give or take 1 or 2 years. So they're really pathetic in the UK, which is not helpful for those who have been sexually abused as a child, never had sex in their whole life, and want someone that's a bit fresher, and someone that's not stale or very used. And it's also making it very difficult for those who want someone that's not a single mother. And so basically they cut the throat of people that have been sexually abused and never had anyone, and been left with nothing for like 20 years. Going back to the early 2000s, what was happening, and this really pissed me off, because my days were really bad back then as well. The threats were more nasty. What they were doing is they were finding people in their 40s and 50s that have had bad lives, giving them fucking 15, 16-year-old girlfriends who were just turning into young adults. But they weren't doing it on the principle of just having a bad life. It's because of this scooter, the night track, possessed their minds to need to apply that they need to help or let people that have had bad lives have someone. But for me it didn't work, because even like that, even back then, people were one-sided and giving me shit, and giving it this and giving it that, and just thinking of this and that, and getting nasty from like people. So it's sort of, it worked for some people and it went against other people, but it went against the wrong people in certain cases, like myself. So, but these people don't know you properly, and they've never liked me in North Petherton, so, you know, and it'd be too late today. Obviously, if I was this age back then, and they realised I had the life I had now, they'd allow that. But we're in a different time, as I said. And obviously that graffiti that I mentioned, I can't get a photo of it now because it's been wiped off. So obviously someone might have reported it, because obviously, but that graffiti looks like it's about 20 or 30 years old. I mean, it might not be, but you don't get that information written by teenage young adults in a modern time, so that's what's making me think that the graffiti there is at least 20 years old, because like I just mentioned, people moan about age gaps today, not like it was back in those days. Yeah, so that graffiti that's been wiped off, I think a pressure washer or something, or the council have taken it off. It doesn't look much different. It looks like it's been cleaned, but they haven't just cleaned the actual graffiti. It looks like it's 20 or 30 years old. It looks like they've sort of brightened up, they've freshened up, or, you know, they've cleansed the whole area. But it does look like there's a possibility that it could have been graffiti on the other side, or if so, I've not noticed that, and I wouldn't have a clue what it said. Because obviously I was unaware of that on the other side, but you can see that it's been painted, and spray painted, and that has been you know, cleaned up. But the other side, obviously, whether Whether it's spray paint or actually painted, I don't know. I forgot to photograph it, and when I looked at it last time and the time before, I didn't really go into detail to see what it said, but I do know that that graffiti looks like it's 20 or 30 years old. I mean, it might not be, but you're not going to get people that are aged 16 asking for sex with fellas in their 30s, 40s and 50s. So that's what's making me think that that graffiti is at least 20 or 30 years old. So obviously it's not there now, but you know, if you go back to the 1990s or whatever, that was common everywhere. It was even the back of toilet doors. You don't even get that anymore. That's another thing I'll mention. You get men asking for, you know, 18-year-olds wanting XX hardcore sex or want cock or whatever. You wouldn't see that on the back of a door these days, you know, toilet door these days. And a lot of people, even if we go back to say 2012, 2013, you were getting people that are stricken it up with today's times actually threatening these people with their own graffiti underneath the actual graffiti where it says that, threatening them with murder, knife attacks and everything else. Because a lot of these people don't like people that are queer, and they moan about the age gap, or, you know, because you had like stuff like 18-year-old man wants to experience it with a man in his 40s or 50s, wants proper hardcore, you know, on the back of a toilet door. You don't get that anymore because it's seen as sick, because like I was saying earlier, they moan if it's more than 2 years difference in age, put you down as a sicko. So there's been a lot of changes, especially since the invention of the smartphone. And either way, it's worth mentioning the history, although it's going to mean nothing to me because obviously it's too late. I mean, when it comes to me, I've not had anyone in my whole life, and I'm not going to get anyone. It's too late. I've had my wrist sliced, but it's worth mentioning the past, you know, for a bit of entertainment, you know, or knowledge of, you know, what people used to write, and some of it's still about. Well, it was until the council cleaned that bit up that I mentioned about. But I would like to know how they got up there though, because you need a ladder to get to write that graffiti. So and it's sort of under the bridge part, so it's like but how it stayed there 20 or 30 years, if it is that old, I'm pretty shocked. Most graffiti only lasts for about 10 years and then it's gone. But, I'll leave it there on that subject.
Right, dog barks you for saying that you've had sex, you had Amy Weston, and there's also an argument that's coming out as threats just before that.
Right, Sel got me started car Black and Blues time. Abri van and the number and on the van. More Black and Blues red. So we've got to get a hit of flow now, several hundred cars or so. 808 setups. Turn down Boner bike across my way. Wilmots, Mediquick, Direct Van, Boner motorbike, Black and Blues. Right, so bucket carry my way in Duffield's lorry, Black and Blue red and Bonus motorbike. I've now got to go to the pharmacy, so everything that I should have mentioned now is because I have to pick up medication. Right, so firstly, nasty person my way, red car. Right, a car control. So obviously catalytic converter. Obviously there's been crowds of rough people because obviously the Creator God needs to be smashed out because the Creator God's buckled. There's nothing you can do about it, the Creator's fallen. Black swerved around and blue because obviously black and blue means hitting out. So because obviously the Creator God's buckled. Crooked, hell bent. Insert van started as I passed because obviously it has to be started because the Creator God wants to tell me that a catalytic converter is a granny. Black, white, black and blue sexual, and then a load of black and blues. Blue sexual, willy up, so motorbike angled around only to my willy with a light on a road. Drain covers it over. So there's flu, I have to put up with flu. A flu in the queue. I've actually got a flu where they timed 2,000 people to sneeze in my face on holiday. And it could be mixed with a chest infection. I don't know. But it's not going to stop, you're just going to have to get flu after flu because they keep black and fucking blue red. Muller. So I got a sore throat merging with this cold flu or whatever I got. So I'm being controlled by a catalyst again because they need to back out these cars and vans because there's a catalytic converter, because it's just a granny, because they're stupid, because the government are thick, or the Creator God's buckled. Spit talking at me, I'm not very happy about it. By a fat person, a cleanish type person, not that clean, but cleaner than the usual. But boastful spit, you know, bring it out. Phone calls and as it converter reverses at me because Christ is buckled. Just before that, a nice hard gush of wet sneeze in my face, but that's the way the Creator is. Buckled, crooked, willy up, bike timed. And the other way, but timed to an erection. Nothing you can do about it, the Creator's crooked. The Creator's buckled. Fucking hell bent. Penis shoots up, willy goes right high up. It's a bike only, with flashing light my way. Right, so obviously the Creator's getting corrupter and more corrupt as hell, but we need to set up black, red, white. And obviously we need to put cars on me because they have a catalytic converter on them, Christ. And you're fucking hellbent and you're crooked and you fucking got everything fucking twisted in a mangled way. So your Yahweh Jehovah is fucking corrupt. Yeah, it is catalyst, Christ. Woo, catalyst. Gas, Christ, gas. No, nothing you can do about it, gas. The Creator is fucking 100% fucking corrupt. And just before that, Crow went, The malicious bastard, that's what God is. Drain it over. Everywhere you go, every angle. The bastard's got you by your feet, the Creator's fallen. Right, so obviously the phone's at my ear, because obviously you need, but the Creator God wants to tell me what sex is by phones. That a sex phone or a smartphone. They're both the same. And radiation sharing. Spit talk now, Christ. Timed into my face, and yes. What's wrong with that? It's only spit in your face, it's only sneeze, it's only flu, Christ. Well, not a disease like corona, it doesn't matter. You're buckled. Right, so hell bent on the road again, Christ. If I get across, that is. Well, the Creator God's a fucking potato head. A corrupt bastard. Sexual light on Christ, sex. You buckled cunt. Now we're going to get more traffic. Now we need to time people at our house. That's it, bloody Christ. Come on, you twisted cunt. Back goes catalyst. But that's what the Creator does. The Creator's buckled. Fucking bent fuck. The Creator, God, is fucking malice. The works of his fucking creation is all fucking mangled up. Twisted and fucking buckled back. Pushing me back in the wheelchair and going backwards. We'll keep this on record for the rest of the way because God's taking the fucking piss now. Robbery looking, because the Creator God's a fucking malice bastard, tears people to fucking pieces, rips the fuck out of people, sexually slaughters people, ice axing bastard and then fires them in the fucking fire of hell and burns the bastards like they're pieces of shit. That's Jehovah Yahweh, a nasty bastard. Well, starting catalytic converter unexpectedly. This Creator's fucking screwed up. I've got to stay on the path, I can't get off the path, or you've got a car smashed into me. You have to walk in most cases people sneeze and the traffic flow stops you crossing. Slicker van, lorry. There's nothing you can do about it. The Creator is a vicious fucking tearaway. The Creator God, Yahweh, Jehovah, are just malice fucking sexual slaughter fucking tearaways. They rip people to fucking pieces and destroy people, like the works of his fucked up, buckled creation. Getting gas control, Christ. You buckled bastard, Christ. Christ is an evil bastard because he's the son of Yahweh, Jehovah. A buckled bastard, a cruelty cunt. A fucking tearaway.